Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Tonight, the search is over for a man wanted for murder. Police arrested Anthony Lewis this morning. He spent a little more than 24 hours on the run. This is video of him walking into the Hazard Police Department for questioning earlier today. Police say he beat and killed Marlena Holland in the Bobby Davis Park. Investigators say tips helped them find Lewis near the old Big Creek School. We'll have more on his troubled past in a moment, but first tonight we're learning a little more about the victim, Marlena Holland. WYMT's Macy Marie is in our newsroom with that part of the story. Macy?
Steve, those who knew Marlena Holland say she was sweet and loved to laugh. Holland was 37 years old and from Perry County. I talked to Ben Fugit, the president of Hope House, a homeless shelter here in town. Fugit says Holland fell on hard times but was a good person. She's described as a sweet and trusting woman. And the two were in the same youth group as kids and still talked as they got older. He says many in the community are feeling heartbroken over that loss.
Just very sweet. I remember it was so easy to make her laugh, and so I always enjoyed that. She had a real sweet, genuine laugh, and so it was easy to get her going, and just very, very kind.
A group has set up a fund for Holland's funeral expenses, and you can donate by stopping by the front desk at Hazard City Hall. Now, Steve, Fugit told me he never met Lewis, but says they do check to see if people are registered sex offenders when they arrive at Hope House. Fugit says Lewis did not show up on that list.
Macy Marie in our newsroom, thank you. Today, we also dug deeper into Lewis's criminal past. Yesterday, we told you about his convictions in the 1990s. And this is old video from one of those hearings. Actually, that is another suspect that was charged with him. Now, he received a hefty 50-year sentence at that time, but got out of prison on parole in 2017. Now, just a few months later, police say Lewis raped and robbed someone. He was set to go on trial in that Leslie County case in just a couple of days. He could have actually been in jail this past weekend. However, a judge approved his release on his own recognizance. As for conditions of that release, he needed to show up for any scheduled hearings, not be in possession of guns or knives, and commit no crimes. This morning, the judge revoked Lewis's bond. Also in Leslie County, Alyssa Noble's trial is delayed. Jury selection would have started on the 22nd. Noble actually bonded out of jail earlier this month. She faces murder, assault, and DUI charges in connection with a 2017 crash that killed Paige Hayes. As of now, there is not a new trial date. A Lexington missionary came to the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Harlan this morning. The reason? He wanted to help coal miners pay their bills as they continue to wait for their paychecks from Black Jewel. WYMT's Hannah Reynolds talks to miners about Father Jim Sitchko's generosity.
Black Jewel miners still have not received their paychecks, putting them in a tough place.
If we had our money, we could pay everything. We can't do that because we haven't been paid.
An evangelist from Lexington got word of the Black Jewel bankruptcy from parish members. This brought him to the Holy Trinity Catholic Church in Harlan Monday.
I was excited because, I'm going to have my electric still on, and that's a big deal.
More than 200 miners went to the church with their latest utility bill, bills they could not pay.
Immediately, I just put out on Twitter and Facebook saying I'm just going to take care of whatever type of utility bill I can.
While Father Jim Sitchko's generosity surpassed his budget, it did not stop him from blessing as many miners as he could. He saved a special gift for the last miner.
So as our last miner, I believe last shall be first. So you get $100. Yes, sir. You get your utility paid this month, and then I'm paying your utilities for the next year.
Father Sitchko's generosity totaled more than $20,000 in just 2 hours.
And I bet one day in their lives they'll assist me, or better yet, I hope that they will pay it forward when they recoup what they're due.
Father Sitchko says even though funds are more than his budget, he knows God will provide. In Harlan County, Hannah Reynolds, WYMT Mountain News.
Now later tonight on Issues and Answers, attorney Ned Pillersdorf will be my guest. During our interview, Pillersdorf talked about a class action lawsuit he filed against Black Jewel and what minors can expect.
The only way the minors can get any relief is they got to get in the bankruptcy court in West Virginia.
Pillersdorf says he's uncertain if the miners will get their jobs back in the end. You can watch the full interview tonight at 7. Today, investigators released new information in Savannah Spurlock's murder case. The Richmond mother went missing more than 6 months ago. Late last week, investigators found her body and arrested David Sparks. Today, police testified Spurlock was found in a shallow grave, wrapped in a rug and garbage bag with her feet bound. A judge sent Sparks' case to a grand jury. A man died this morning in a Magoffin County crash. State police say it appears Joe Allen lost control in a curve at Craft Creek. His car went off the road and over an embankment. Allen was from the Middle Fork area. He was 45 years old. In just the last hour, we learned a man in Whitley County will spend 10 years in prison in connection with the disappearance of Laura Anderson. Commonwealth's attorney Ronnie Bowling recommended that sentence in exchange for Joe Bauer's testimony for Anderson's actual murders and the location of her body. To this day, investigators have not been able to find Anderson. She went missing last year. Bauer pleaded guilty to facilitation to commit murder, tampering with evidence, and facilitation to commit robbery charges. He says it is something he will never forget. A Floyd County man is recovering after doctors found a tick in his eye. Now, we should warn you, some of the images in this story are a little graphic. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher has more.
Just your natural outdoors type of person.
I've had ticks on me. You know, I hunt and stuff like that.
Chris Prater works for a local electric company, always spraying himself with repellent before work.
The ticks are so bad this year, we always try to spray down really good.
But after leaving a job site in Johnson County, he noticed a pain in his eye.
Really didn't think nothing of it. Think it was sawdust or something like that.
After multiple attempts to rinse his eye, he realized something needed to be done.
And the thing of it is, I really didn't want to go to the doctor.
Thankfully, he visited an optometrist.
And then when the doctor finally come in, he was looking at it, and he said, well, I know what's in your eye.
The moment Prater says he will never forget.
He said, it's a tick. And that's when I got scared a little bit.
Here it is, a tiny deer tick right on his eye.
Once he grabbed a hold of it and pulled it off, the tick made like a little popping sound when it come off my eye.
Something he never imagined possible.
You can't spray your eyes, so.
In Floyd County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
The optometrist sent Chris Prater home with antibiotic and steroid drops. He says other than some irritation, his eye feels normal now.
We are still seeing those showers and thunderstorms move through the mountains, but good news is they are starting to weaken a little bit. Let's go ahead and take you outside to downtown Whitesburg this afternoon. We're looking at cloud cover, but overall, folks in Letcher County staying mainly dry for now. I think they may see a shower or two heading into the next few hours, but overall, calm conditions for those folks. And you can see here on Pinpoint Doppler, plenty of rainfall moving into the Big Sandy right now. Everyone else dry for the most part. However, into Wayne and McCreary County, we're seeing a little bit of showers and thunderstorms move through. That's going to continue throughout the afternoon and into your evening hours. However, we are seeing those weaken, so that is definitely some good news for those folks out there. But those temperatures, that rain is working to cool off that air quite dramatically into the 70s for Perry and Breathitt County, 73 only in Monticello. But folks who have not seen any rain yet, still into the upper 80s. So overall, pretty dramatic temperature differences thanks to all of that rainfall. Your weather headlines are these isolated chances. They're going to continue for the next few hours, die down by sunset, but they will be back tomorrow afternoon. And I will continue to track Barry's remnants as we head into tomorrow and Wednesday. And we do have a hot weekend on the way. I'll break down those details in just a little bit. Steve.
All right. Thank you very much, Kelly. A local Eagle Scout is paying tribute to fallen Pikeville police officer Scotty Hamilton. Just a month after Hamilton was killed, he began working on a hand-carved sign to honor Hamilton's memory. On Saturday, that sign was put up. Tonight at 7, a dedication will take place outside the Pikeville Police Department. A flag will be dedicated to Hamilton's parents as well. We will have much more on the ceremony coming up at 11. Pikeville Medical Center is hosting a job fair at the Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg today. From Starbucks to clinical positions, more than 120 jobs are up for grabs. PMC is offering full-time registered nurses a $6,000 sign-on bonus or a $350 student loan repayment plan. Officials say they want to give back to a community that's given so much to them.
Eastern Kentucky has struggled with the mining industry, and healthcare is a growing industry. When you look at what's going on, healthcare is where it's at, and we want to invest and give back to our community.
The job fair ends at 7 o'clock. If you missed it but would still like to apply, you can submit your application online through Pikeville Medical Center's website. We now know when Governor Matt Bevin plans to convene a special session of the Kentucky General Assembly. Lawmakers will return to Frankfort this Friday at 8 a.m. Bevin says he wants to provide relief for regional universities, county health departments, and many other quasi-governmental agencies faced with surging pension costs. The proposal would replace a bill that Bevin vetoed in April after the legislature ended its regular session. We'll have more on this tonight at 11.
Today was a pretty typical summertime day here in the mountains. We reached a high of 86 degrees. However, those temperatures about to be a little bit cooler. I'll have those details in my full forecast coming up.
But first, officials with the USA Drone Port in Perry County just got back from a trip to Europe. We'll tell you why they were there.